Hello and welcome back to my channel. So if you've been following along with me this month, my goal for myself was to do one video every Sunday for the month of July, and this is the last one. And I actually had the opportunity to go to a workshop this past week, so I was out of state and didn't really do anything in my doll room, so I'm like, well, I want to do something meaningful, or not just uploading for the point of uploading. So this is a little later, but Just Dream Studios did this American Girl tag list of questions for collectors, and I'm like, well, I really like this set of questions, so I'm gonna answer them. She said I was free to make up my own, but I didn't. I just copied and pasted and took my pictures and put them together here. So this isn't the most exciting presentation, but it is 20 questions about my collection and about me, and so let's get into it. And well, thank you, Just Dream Studios, for coming up with this list of questions. So the first question is, if you were to purchase a double of any doll, who would it be? And my answer is Marie Grace. I love her face mold. I'm very happy that American Girl is coming out with, more dolls using her face mold. I just don't like any of them. I don't like the color combinations and the really streaky, colorful hair, and I know some people absolutely adore them, and that's great. Go for it. I actually want a Marie Grace with her original wig, but one that I could take the braids out. I think this would be the best thing. Now, I do have a double of Molly that I'm working on, and she was part of a lot. I just happened to get her, but she's in fairly decent condition, but her braids are out. So I'm kind of excited to have a Molly with braids and a Molly without braids. But if I were to purchase, it would have to be Marie Grace. And then, do you regret any part of your collections? I have several regrets. And like my most current one is I really have a lot of modern stuff, and that's not what I started my collection out. My collection really was historical. So I'm sort of thinking through that. I know I did a lot of buying because, I was trying to collect it all. But I'm really trying to take a step back and really focus on what I actually want. So I'm being way more selective, and I know, if you're watching this video on release day or even a few days after, American Girl is coming out with this huge release of new modern outfits, and it's really like, you know what? I don't need another new Halloween costume for the modern dolls. I don't need a Birthstone Collection outfit. I do need all of Claudie's new historical things, all of them. So that's where I'm trying to turn my attentions to. I also put Samantha here as a picture. So there was a time, and I think a lot of people who, started their collections as kids, not as collections, but as like, these are my toys. I love these things. These are, they bring me joy. They get to a point where they're, they feel like they're too old for dolls, or they truly lose interest, or what have you, when they sell things. I sold 3, Molly, Samantha, and Kaya. I managed to find a Kaya and a Molly that I love. So they're not my originals, but they are, I'm really happy that I have those dolls. My Samantha, I have yet to really find a Samantha I connect with. I've had 4 now. This is my current one, and she's probably as close as I've gotten, but I still don't connect with her very well. The particular Samantha doll I grew up with is from a very short production period, so she's much harder to find. And I don't know why, you'd think with the classic mold it'd be easy to find any Samantha to work, but for some reason it just hasn't, and that always bugs me, and I'm sad that that's what happened, but it did. I think I was 13 at the time. I know better now. And so while I collect a lot, I also know that I need to be mindful when I do sell something. Am I going to regret this? Or, should I keep it around and you just put it away for a while and then bring it back out later? Just things to think about. If you could dress like any doll in your collection, who would it be? So this is kind of like, I consider my Girl of Many Land dolls part of my American Girl collection. They are a key point in my collecting, where that it was okay to not just do the 18-inch historical dolls. I fell in love with this line. I have all 8 of them, but I would want to dress like Cecile or Isabel. And yes, American Girl does reuse names. And I don't think I would want to do it every day, all day, but I love the big poofy dresses and, the time periods. I think they're great. Okay, a doll that had so much potential but flopped. And I don't know if Caroline actually flopped or not, but I feel like she did if she was around for such a short period of time. I mean, she is stunning. Her collection is beautiful. Why is she not still here? I know her hair can be kind of finicky, but I can't believe it. It's just, for her, I wish she'd come back. She's beautiful. Dream goals. Well, if you follow along with my collection and my YouTube, you know that this is my dream goal. It's just managing everything, and I think this is where that, sort of regret of too much modern is. My historicals are set. Everyone's where they're supposed to be. I love the rooms I have. I love where they are. It's just all that modern stuff that's still on the floor, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. So again, I might put away a lot of the modern stuff for now and see if I actually do want to keep going that route or what. So we'll see. But dream goal, have a clean doll room. How much have you spent on your collection? That's a tough number. I've been doing this for a very long time. And my first, couple dolls were gifts, and I have still received things as gifts. So I honestly don't know how to answer this question. So I don't think I can answer this question. It's a lot. I know it's a lot, because I think I know how many dolls I've actually purchased myself. But I am very mindful of money. I have a budget. I have a certain amount I am allowed to spend on American Girl. Well, it's not just American Girl, on anything that's sort of hobby related. So my other hobbies are puzzles, and reading. So if I want to buy books, if I want to buy puzzles, that also comes out of the same pot of money. So I just, I'm very mindful about it. If I can find good deals, I will. But overall, I know it's a lot. Which doll did you buy most recently? That would be the twins, Nikki and Isabel. So those are the most recent dolls, historical dolls. So that's who I've bought most recently. And do I have currently any stuff in the mail? Yes. I do have Nikki's bedroom accessories. I had a rewards, because I bought Nikki and Isabel, that sort of tipped me up into a a really large reward. It was $50, and I called American Girl this past week and said, hey, if I want to use my rewards, I want this. And if your rewards covers the item and you call it in, the shipping is $0. And so that's what I did. So this is in the mail. There will be a review video when it comes, but it hasn't, I don't think, actually officially shipped yet, but the order has been placed. Largest number of dolls you bought at one time is 2. So Nikki and Isabel together, and then Cecile and Marie Grace. I got Cecile and Marie Grace on the Jill's Steals and Deals. It was like I couldn't believe it. It was just amazing. The deal. it was definitely a time I think American Girl was struggling and needed quick cash. I'm sorry it happened to them because they deserve so much better. But I did buy them at the same time with their accessories and like the really nice table chair desk set thing. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful piece. So I bought them and then Nikki and Isabel. And I will say there was a lot that I bought that had 4 dolls in it. And I don't include that because I technically didn't buy the lot for the dolls. The dolls were just kind of extra. I sold one of them and the other 3. One is the hair down Molly, and then 2 others that I haven't figured out what to do with yet. So how long have I been an AGtuber? So if I scroll down to the bottom of my YouTube channel and it says 1 year, but it's actually January 9th that I'm like, that's a year and a half. So I guess YouTube doesn't like decimal numbers for some reason. So I've been doing this for a year and a half, and that's amazing. I hope my quality has gotten better. I know I've gotten much better at putting like thumbnails and things like that. So I'm just now experimenting with, the end screens and putting up, the subscribe now button. That was never my intention to, rack up a bunch of subscribers. If it happened, awesome. And it really was just a challenge for me to be more creative with my collection. And it's kind of funny. So I've lived in 3 different places in the past year and a half. Most of it has been at my new house, but all 3 places, I have videos from all 3 places, which I think is kind of crazy. And then how long have I been in AGIGER? That's weird to say. This I've done longer. So this is ag.mea is my handle name. I don't know. Those were my initials. So American Girl dot and then my initials. So I just scroll all the way back for that. That took a while because I used to post a lot there, and I still do every now and then. It's definitely something it's much easier for me to do than a whole video. But my first picture is there on the left. It is Rebecca's Tea Time Traditions, and that was December 28th, 2016. So that's, I'm going to say 2017, so that helped me with the math. So that would be 5.5 years. 5.5 years. That's a long time and lots of pictures. And I thought it was really funny that my second picture I ever posted was my doll room at my last house I owned. And it's still a mess. Like that's just who I am. My doll room is always in a state of mess. I wonder where so there's this little, I see something in there that I'm like, I don't know if I still have that. I sure hope I do. I should go look for it. Okay, so doll you want most in your collection. So one of the later questions asks how many dolls you have, and I don't have all of the Girl of the Year dolls. So I'd love to finish that collection. So from that list that I don't have, Grace Thomas is really at the top of my list. I've been keeping an eye out. There were a couple of good deals that came and went, and so but I know kind of what dollar amount I want to spend on that. Currently available doll though, I would really like 118 and 123. Again, I'm still sort of considering modern or not, which way to go. So they're my favorite of the newer dolls, but we'll see. So how many dolls do you have right now? I've checked this list like 5 times and I still don't think it's right. I know for sure I have all the historical characters, and there are 21 historical characters. So that is the only number I'm certain of on this list. The Girl of the Years, I have 18 of them, but there are several more that I don't have, like Nikki and Grace. But I've done I think that's just those 2. I've done a much better job catching up with that. So I think I've almost caught up with that. Modern name dolls, so these are the World by S, McKenna, Yvette, Maritza. I have 2 Tennies and a Logan. If I ever got Z, she would also fall in this kind of category. I have 7 Truly Me dolls that I've gotten from various things. My one Welly Wisher Gwen, which I don't count in the Girl of the Year, but she's a Welly. And then I have the 8 Girls of Middylands. So that's 60 total. Now that doesn't include, I honestly think it's like almost 10 dolls that are, like my Molly with her braids down. I have a second Caroline and 2 Felicities and I think 2 more kits and another Tenny that I have for customization and to fix up and things like that. Probably I'm not gonna keep a lot of these dolls, but they're still in my possession, but I don't consider them part of my collection. My cheapest doll would have to be Truly Me 74. And I say this as cheapest, I interpreted this question as the cheapest doll that I personally bought. Which, now that I think about this, because I bought McKenna for 20 bucks. No, less than. I don't know. I know my 74 is the cheapest brand new doll I have ever bought. I was super fortunate and won an Instagram contest and got Joss completely for free. That was amazing. I never win anything and I won an American Girl doll. It was really awesome. So technically she's the cheapest, but I don't want to count that because I don't know. But the cheapest new in box doll I've ever bought was Truly Me 74. Yes, he is still in the box. We will see if he ever comes out of the box or if I decide to sell or what. I'm not sure. But I did buy McKenna for 20 bucks, so maybe she's my cheapest. I have to think about that one a little more. Most expensive doll in your collection. See, this is another kind of tricky question to ask. So the most expensive doll I have ever bought was Nikki and Isabel, brand new in box. They're $115 a doll. And the World by Us, all 3, $115 a doll. So I don't buy dolls more than above that, but I do own Cecile and Nellie, and they are, I know, very expensive if I were to sell them. So that's kind of how I interpreted that question. Kind of weird, I know. But yeah, and I know that's not the best picture of Nellie, but it's all good. Most valuable doll in my collection has to be my Kirsten. It's your first doll. First doll always, I feel like, well, not always, but for the most part, is usually your most valuable doll. Kirsten is the one who was my first doll when I was 7 years old. Went everywhere in the world with me. I mean, literally, she has been on a plane across the Atlantic Ocean kind of deal. Has a new head, went to the doll hospital. I do anything for this doll, so definitely my most valuable. Speaking of, Kirsten also went with me to my first American Girl store, which was the Chicago store. So I didn't go when it first opened, but it was a birthday trip for me. I think I was 12 or 13 at the time. Well, no, I must have been 12. Because I know 13 was where I really started, I'm too old for this. Oh, then maybe it was 11. I should probably ask my mom. So it was a girls' trip. It was my mom, myself. We went to Chicago. We did everything. We did, we went to the theater and saw a show. We went to the cafe where it was, I remember the mousse being delicious, the chocolate mousse. The pizza was just ugh. But the chocolate mousse was delicious. We went to, at the time they had, they would take your picture and put you on an American Girl magazine, and I thought that was the coolest. But my mom didn't want me to put my Kirsten with me. So there's a picture of me, and I'm very happy, very smiley, but it's not my Kirsten. It was one from the store. And her braids are immaculate. My Kirsten's braids have never been that immaculate. So I guess that's bittersweet, but I have that around here somewhere. it was a really interesting time. They don't do that anymore, but I really enjoyed that trip. My closest AG store is a 3-hour drive. Um, I and I know this is an unpopular opinion for some people, but I wish it would close down. It's not a flagship. It's super tiny. The bistro only, it has a bistro, and I don't even know how they get away with that. They don't have enough floor space for everything American Girl has. So I don't understand why they're a store. Their lease is up next year, so they might be closing. If they don't close, I think they need to switch locations at least. I know they've done that to other stores, and that's what I would recommend for American Girl if they do that. So I'm at a very tiny one. I'm not going to be sad if it closes because it is still a 3-hour drive. Like, I don't like driving to go to the store because I think the gas and the shipping become equivalent at that point. It's nice when you can pick a doll out in person, but I've only had one doll look wonky when I, did mail order or online ordering, and that was Caroline, and I did send her back, but that's the only one I've had. I know today it's more likely that something's wonky, but for the most part, they do okay. Okay, dream historical doll. I didn't put anything here because I will take anything American Girl. Anything. Give me any location, any time period, I will take her. Or him, if you decide to do boy American Girl dolls. I just want you to keep doing it. I want the historical dolls. I think they are fantastic. I love them. I mean, my ultimate dream is that you get out of the 1900s, and no, I don't mean come to the 2000s. Please don't do that. But there's so many decades in the 1800s they haven't covered. They could really, I'd love for, oh my gosh, I think I'd fall over and pass out if they did a 1700s doll again. I think that would be amazing. I don't have high hopes for it, but that's my dream. That's my dream, that the historical collection continues. Regardless of time, place, I just want more historical dolls. Dream GOTY Girl of the Year. That one's a little bit easier for me. I love and hate that Blair is a farm girl. I think her story is really funny. She learned she's lactose intolerant and the world is over. I think, it's just really, for the age group, I think it's really funny. But it's, at the same time, it got us this pig, which is actually the real reason this picture is here. I love the little pig. And I love farm animals. I just don't like that she is touted as a farm girl. No, she lives at a bed and breakfast that has a few animals, quote unquote, on the farm. They have like one goat and 1 or 2 chickens and 1 pig. Like that's not a farm. I would love a farm girl. Sounds like they had, when you read the book, it's like they've got a small garden they pull fresh things from. It's like, no, I want I want a farm girl. A girl who lives on a ranch. Now, is American Girl going to do this? Absolutely not. There's not any big ticket items they can sell with that. Knowing my luck, she'd also be a horse girl, which, farm girl and horse girl sometimes overlap, but not always. I do appreciate Blair's story because it doesn't focus on the place. Like, I couldn't tell you what state this happened in, versus a story like, it's not really a state, but like Kira's in Australia. It's a very place-dependent story. I like it when they're not so place-dependent, and it is kind of interesting how American Girl keeps repeating certain states when not every state has been touched on. Like, there's some stories that like could be in any state, but they specifically put them in one or the other. and I don't get that. But I would love like a true farm girl. I think that would be great. Someone who's really into gardening, really into animals, maybe someone who's thinking pre-vet, thinking about being a veterinarian, I think would be really cool. They could also get that science in there if they wanted to. There's so much you could do with that, but it's a dream. Probably will stay that way. So thank you for watching and listening to my 20 answers for this list of 20 questions. Again, thank you Just Dream Studios for coming up with this list of questions. I will copy and paste the questions below if you want to do this on your channel. And again, feel free to mix them up or change them if you decide to go that route. Awesome. I'd love to hear about it if you do. So that's my last July video in terms of the uploading on Sunday. I've enjoyed the challenge, but I do need a break. Maybe I'll actually go, work on my doll room and get you an update from there. We'll see. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.